Welcome to the Inspiration Station hosted by Joshua Lenox, the place to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Hello there, everybody. It is none other than Joshua Lenox, your CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer, and we are live right now on the Inspiration Station. It is Friday, March the 27th, 2026. Y'all, we're about to walk into April. I don't know about walk, maybe run, but as you guys are coming in, let me know how you are doing, how your day has been, how your week has been so far. Also, just letting me know what challenges you may have been facing today, because we always face challenges. But let that be a reminder to say that we can overcome anything. We can overcome what can feel as if it's coming over us. So even if you have challenges, let me know how you have been conquering or how you have been working through those things, because it's not permanent. It is temporary. So you will get through this, whatever challenges that you're facing right now. Okay. If this is your first time here on the Inspiration Station, this will not be your last. You're going to keep coming and keep coming and keep coming, because we're going to keep going and keep going and keep going. Y'all remember the Energizer Bunny? That's what popped in my head as soon as I said that. But as you guys are coming in, I want to go ahead and get started. If this, like I said, if this is your first time, the Inspiration Station is literally a nickname that I was given a long time ago, and I did not really understand why initially until the woman told me it's like I am a radio station who sends out signals that everyone needs to hear. It's like I know what people need to hear, and I just didn't know that we would be here fast forward today utilizing this as a podcast, as a show, and as some other things that are going to come up in the near future. So I am glad to be here. Let me just say that one more. I feel like I'm Hakeem off of Coming to America. I am very happy to be here, but I am very glad to be here. The Inspiration Station is not just about the vessel that you're listening to and that you're watching. It's about all of us, because each and every one of us are inspirations, not only to other people that come into our space or into our lives, but we're also an inspiration to ourselves. And if you are questioning that, you just go back down memory lane in your life. You will see several instances that you can pull from and gain strength from and endurance from in continuing to run this race that's been set before you, which is your life right now. So I want you all to always be very cognizant of each and every day is creating more inspiration for where you're going and also where you currently are at this very moment. This is also a place where we're open, we're honest, we're vulnerable, not only with each other, but also with ourselves, because often the relationship that is neglected the most is the one that we have with ourselves. This is also a place where we are not just getting motivated, not just getting inspired, not just getting encouraged, even though those things are absolutely wonderful, but it should lead you to going towards some level of action. And even if the action doesn't mean you moving your feet, it starts in your mind and your way you're thinking. Also, there are people that will be coming on here. Y'all just bear with me, y'all. Let me say this: when you're doing anything, always be open to things changing at the last minute, things shifting at the last minute. When you're trying to get people to come on board to do things, and you have things set in place, and things change, life changes, but you must keep going forward. You do not stay stuck. Don't get discouraged. You just keep moving forward, and you go with what you got. But let me say, people will be coming on that will give us some tools about their lives, some wisdom, some nuggets. I said wisdom of nuggets. Wow, nuggets of wisdom. Y'all with me, right? Nuggets of wisdom that we can put in our toolbox and apply to our own lives and walk some of those things out, and take from what we can from what they want to empower us with. So another thing is, I love to say I am enjoying the I guess the acknowledgement of knowing that each and every one of us have been in a place of we're always growing. So you're in a training ground still with learning who you're becoming, because you're not the same person that you were. You're not the same person you were last year. You're not the same person you were probably even last month. Maybe not even the same person you were last week. So we're always evolving. We're always open to changing, always open to transforming, always open to evolving into the better versions of ourselves. So y'all, I want to jump in. Not going to be before you long. I want you to enjoy your Friday evenings or whenever you watch this. Enjoy your time. Enjoy your time while you're with me right now, but enjoy the rest of whatever this will be after you finish watching or listening to this. So the title of today is called Keep Your Eyes Open. Keep your eyes open. And I know many of you all are immediately thinking about that I'm talking about what we use with sight, our eyes, but I'm not. I'm speaking of I, like I meaning you, I meaning myself. With that, there are four different concepts I want you to lock into as we, excuse me, y'all, we navigate really quickly this evening. So fasten your seatbelt. We're gonna move a little quick. But with these four eyes, not the eyes that I'm looking at you with right now, or that I'm that are in our in our on our face, a part of us, but our eyes, meaning I, myself, yourself. The first one is black eye. I know some of y'all probably think like a black eye. Like, wait a minute. Yes, a black eye, private eye, naked eye, and also blind eye. And keep in mind, anytime I'm saying I'm referring to you and I'm referring to myself. Okay, so we're personified in this. It's a personification. We're taking ownership of these things applying to the person of who we are, not what we use as sight. First thing, the core idea actually is one. I want you to think about this as I'm navigating through these four eyes. Is just which one is leading my life right now? Which one of these are leading my life? And I'll probably recap as we round up and finish out today. But with the first thing, the black eye, and I still think that's funny because I'm pretty sure even when I say black eye, you think about somebody that punched and good old black eye, like that. But black eye. Think about when you are writing anything or typing anything and you make something bold, and that's what we're talking about with the black eye, me, boldness. When you bold something, that means it is more exclaimed. It's something that needs to be seen. It's made bigger. It's made more visible. When we talk about black eye, this is what I'm talking about. You not shrinking. Anybody out there ever been I said innocent, guilty of shrinking? I know I have to pull myself back and lower myself, minimize myself. I'm pretty sure many of you all have done that. I'm seeing you all coming up saying that you have, but this is where we want to focus on being our true selves, being fully yourself, taking up space. You're a person who, when you walk in a room, people should feel your presence. They should see your light. They should see something that's totally different than what they've ever seen before. And let me be clear, when we talk about being bold, bold is being confident. Bold is being sure of yourself. And again, even you know what, even if you're not as confident in yourself, you can still be bold. You better act, you fake it. What people say, fake it till you make it. You act that way until you feel that way. Even if you may feel like you're not as forward or you're not as assertive or anything of that nature, or you might feel like you are a person who play small all the time, or that you want to make sure everybody's okay with you, or that they want to be comfortable with you, you might still say, okay, I'm gonna be bold, even though I don't believe I'm bold. I'm about to try it. I'm gonna do the best I can. Because being bold, let me say this, why I'm saying that is because being bold does not mean being loud. Sometimes people think if I'm loud, I'm very demeaning, or I'm very demonstrative, or I'm highly aggressive, negatively aggressive, speaking down to people, very condescending, making myself seem bigger than what I am, then that means I'm bold. And that's not what that is. Bold means I'm aligned with who I am, aligned with my confidence, aligned with my esteem, aligned with my goals, aligned with my values, aligned with where my direction is going. So being bold does not mean I have to be loud or I have to. Oftentimes, let me say this. Oftentimes, I think sometimes if somebody says that they can be bold, you might notice that they are actually putting on a act because that's not might not necessarily be who they really are. It's just what I want to project or portray to other people to make them see me in a different way. But when there are people who are very bold, they don't even have to say anything. You see how they walk, and you like, yep, they sure them. Their person is sure of themselves. They're very much so focused. They know who they are. That doesn't mean that if you have, we all have insecurities, but that does not stop you from being a person who's bold, bold in your actions, bold with your purpose, bold with how you speak to people, bold with how you show up. Also, shrinking usually happens because the person's trying to be accepted. All of us want to be accepted. I don't care. People say, "Oh, you ain't got to accept me." You might not live the healthy way of that is you don't live to be accepted, but you have some level of wanting to be accepted, wanting what you produce to be accepted. Visibility versus likability are two totally different things. You're always going to be visible. So let's be clear about that. Even when you try to hide, some of y'all probably try to hide and you want to not want to be noticed and you don't want to be put in the forefront and you find out you are always being put in the front or you're always in the center of something and you can't hide from it. You can be visible and you're always going to be visible, but everybody's not going to like you. And that's okay because there are many people who will. I love what the singer Fantasia says. She said, I might not bless you, I might not bless you, I might not bless you, but I just might bless you. And she was like, I'm not for everybody. You're not for everybody, but that will not stop you from being visible to those people who need to see you. And you're going to be visible to people who don't like you, and that's all right too. The anchoring line, I'm going to have these things called anchor lines. The anchor line I want you to think about is when you shrink, you know that you become less visible. When you shrink, you become less visible. But what if that's the thing that's holding you back right now because you're scared to be in the forefront? You might say, I'm scared for everybody to see me, or I'm scared to step up to certain things because of more eyes that are going to be on me. I don't want anybody calling me out about anything. People scrutinizing me, they're picking me apart, they're calling me names, they're doing all of this stuff. And it's like, well, but what if what you have and who you are is needed? Because it is. And maybe you're delaying yourself from going higher and getting better in your life, improving every area of your life because you're shrinking back, all because maybe somebody made you feel small, all because somebody may have said certain things. I don't like when kids say, back when I was growing up, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt. That's a lie. You can at least heal from breaking your bone or something like that. It might be different, but you can heal at some point. But sometimes those words stay planted in somebody, and then that determines how they dictate their perception of themselves as they move forward in their lives. One day, somebody might have been a person who was very loud, vibrant, joyful, always very courageous, and people told them they were too much. You too much. You talk too loud. You doing too. I mean, just sit down somewhere. Nobody. You doing the most. You too weird. You strange. And then that person would just shrink down. Maybe if a person, I'll never forget seeing a young lady when I was judging a talent show. I was in college, so that was just 2 years ago. But anyway, I was in college, and I remember seeing them on the side warming up, and I could tell she looked very downcast all of a sudden, and I could tell she could sing because I saw her do the it was some video or something I saw, so I knew she could sing. When she got out on the stage, she just went. I was like, she's not even singing like she believes in herself. Like, what is going on? I think what happened is because the talent that came before her, of the few people, people with round of applause standing up, going crazy. And I think some part of her felt intimidated because she didn't think that she probably could do as well. When I finished, and if you know me personally, if you know me for a long period of time, I don't care who you are. I will walk up to you. I will encourage you. If I see something about you, I'm going to call it out. If I see that you could do better in something because of how great you are, I will say it. If you're doing good, I'm going to tell you you're doing good. After that, I left the table and went backstage and I asked, and she was crying. I was like, what? I was like, you are an amazing talent. Why didn't you sing full out like you did on that video? And she literally said she was fighting voices in her head of her family telling her to shut up, telling her she was too loud, telling her that nobody wanted to hear her sing. So because of that, she was not bold in her gifting. She was not bold in her talent. And she allowed that moment to slip away because she was hearing something that reminded her that she needed to shrink. Not knowing, I was like, no wonder on the video, she didn't have anybody around. So, she clowned, she could blow. But when she got on that stage, she just froze and shrunk down. She played her gift so small. I was like, she sung, and then she sung a Whitney Houston song, y'all. So I was mad because I was like, wait a minute, you're gonna have to blow on this song. But you would have never known she was such a powerhouse because she just diminished her gift. So my question to you is to think about, what are you shrinking in? Where are you shrinking in your life? Where are you playing small? Where are you playing it safe? Where are you trying to avoid criticism? Because criticism is going to come anyway. You don't have to listen to all of it. Some things are constructive, but there's a lot of people who just talking about a whole bunch of stuff and they don't mind trying to tear people down. But where are you shrinking in your life? The next eye is the private eye. Private eye are watching you. They see your every move. Okay, I had a music moment. I'm back, y'all. But Private eye, your privacy. This is talking about your protection, the private you, the private side of you. And again, the black side of you is what I just spoke about, meaning boldness. And I know some people probably like the black side. I mean, hey, we can, you want to claim that, that's fine. But the boldness side of you. Now we're talking about the private side of you. This is where we realize that not everyone gets access to you. There's a reason why we are supposed to have boundaries. You cannot just let each and every person who crosses your path into your life have such great access. I remember I heard this story about talking about porches in the South and how important that is, and it really is still like that. You know, you don't let everybody come on your porch. You don't let everybody come in your yard either. Where there's certain parameters, or you think about kids who are playing on the outside of the fence, then you have the yard. Maybe that person who lives there, that child, they probably can have maybe three or four people in the yard because that's, closer to the home. But on the porch, you may only be able to bring up two people. Then, as you get closer to saying about going in the house might only allow one person. Well, it must be a real trusted friend of yours that the family knows, that everybody's familiar with, everybody's safe with, because they've proven themselves over time so they can come in the house. Sometimes you can let people who should have probably been around the corner come into your house now realizing, wait. You came into, I allowed you too much access too soon. So everyone does not get access to you. I know sometimes people struggle with wanting acceptance, and because they've dealt with a lot of rejection, they've dealt with a lot of abandonment, and they tend to just open their lives up to people only to be robbed, in a sense, to be hurt, to be damaged. Also, this we have to be careful with what we're if you're oversharing, in a sense. You might be telling people too much and telling people business that they should not be privy to. There's a difference between oversharing and intentionally sharing. When you know that you're able to give people a certain level of information in your life intentionally, there's been some level of rapport or a bond or some level of trust built to where you can share, or in general you can share things, but you're very cognizant of what you're letting come out of your mouth. Oversharing, you just giving some people ammunition. Sometimes you might be giving your enemies ammunition on knowing your next move or knowing what you're going to do or how they can discourage you, how they can go run and tell people your business. And it's like, wait a minute, you telling people so much, and they might also turn around and use the same things that you told them, use it against you. Have anybody ever dealt with that, where people you've trusted them maybe with some information, or maybe you told them some things prematurely and they turn around and use it against you in the future? Have anybody ever been like that? I've been there, seen that, been there, done that. Go write a t-shirt, got a t-shirt about it. Access is earned. People have to earn access to you. You're a very rare person. You're a very special person. You're a person who is to guard yourself. You cannot just give yourself to everybody. You ain't for everybody, and everybody's not for you. You cannot allow people to just come in your life and just say, okay, I know I hear people say sometimes, well, I start with people out with 100. Some people say I start people out with zero and let them do, what's necessary so I can build that up. Whatever way works best for you, tomato, that's great. However, there should be some level of discretion in learning about who I can give my certain private information to, or what I can talk about. And again, you learn to be very general with certain people, and then you can be very specific with some people. The anchor line with this is everyone doesn't deserve access to you. That's something to remember. Everyone does not deserve access to you. Your family sometimes asking you questions about your personal business. You do not have to tell them everything. Your friends might be asking you some things. It's like, oh, I won't be sharing that part, but I can share this part. So again, giving yourself a level of discernment of knowing who am I able to open up my life to share certain information about, and what do I need to also withhold. Next thing about that, in asking you a question, is just who has access to you that has not been earned? Who has access to you that has not been earned? Next one, y'all. Next eye is the naked eye. Get your mind out the gutter. I know some of y'all probably thought something else, but your naked eye. This is talking about your vulnerability. This is where we practice safe honesty. We talk about it in here all the time. I don't even know if I did say it, but being open, honest, and vulnerable with not only ourselves, with each other, but also with ourselves. And this stuff applies to you from you to you as well, not just you to other people. Um, Safe honesty, vulnerability is to be given to safe people. There's no need for you to open up. When you're vulnerable, it's almost like you're opening yourself up to be attacked, to be misunderstood, to be hurt, to be abused in some way, not physically, or not might be mentally, emotionally, or even I cannot think of the other one right now, but I'm gonna keep moving. But you might leave yourself susceptible to be attacked. But you also can leave yourself to be put into a place where somebody is very much so accepting of what you're sharing. They're a person who is becoming trustworthy over time. This is somebody who you feel safe with. Um, you being vulnerable, it's not always easy for most people, especially if you've been hurt, especially if you've opened your life up to people before and they have, left your life, they've abandoned you, they've been very condescending to you, they've mocked you, they've joked on you for what you open up about. So you become this person who wants to suppress everything. Suppression leads to depression. And oftentimes, when we have so many things that we're holding into ourselves and we have no one to lean on, I always say you could talk to the Lord about it. Show no, be vulnerable with the Lord about it. But there should be trusted people in our circles that we are able to feel safe with in being open, honest, and vulnerable with. And as I said, vulnerability should be done with safe people. This is not where you're just dumping out everything, talking about any and everything. Be very discerning about who you're able to open up about things, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Maybe some things that you're afraid to talk about. Maybe some things that you're embarrassed to talk about. You're ashamed to talk about. Maybe insecurities or flaws that you know you're having that you want to be able to express to somebody that it will land in a safe place, knowing that this person is almost like a container. This person is someone who will make sure they're very empathetic, they're compassionate, they're very present with you, they're very attentive, and most of all, they're trustworthy, not just with what you're sharing with them, but they're trustworthy with you. So that means that they have a level of care for you and protection for you. The anchor line in this is, let me back up. Also, this is about being honesty with bringing honesty with you. Sometimes it's hard to look in the mirror and be vulnerable with you. You might end up lying to yourself all the time because that feels safe, or that feels like, oh, that's this is causing me to remain in denial, so I don't have to really feel the whatever it is, the embarrassment, like I said, embarrassment, shame, whatever that might be. I might not have to feel that thing directly with me. So I'll keep lying to myself to make myself feel better. The anchor line in this is that I can be fully seen in safe spaces. When you're in safe spaces, you should be able to open up to a degree to where you don't feel as if you're about to have some level of anxiety, panic, feeling like you're going to be betrayed or deceived. And also, this could be with people. Safe spaces should be people who have been tried, trusted, and verified. Safe spaces should be tried, trusted, and verified. And it doesn't always mean, oh, I have to know this person for 60 years, 60 years. Or 15 years or whatever. It might be somebody you've only known for 1 year, but there's been some level of where this person has been tried, trusted, and verified in order for you to feel safe being vulnerable with them. My ask for you is, where am I not being honest? And who am I not being honest with? You might even have people in your life that you're not completely honest about certain things because you're afraid of being judged. You're afraid of being misunderstood. You're afraid of being hurt or things being used against you. So think about, where are you not being honest in your life, and who are you not being honest with? And are you not being honest with you about some things right now? Last eye, y'all, is the blind eye. Blind eye. Okay. This is about awareness. What are you ignoring right now? We want to make sure when we're talking about the blind eye, the blind part of ourselves, the things we might overlook, the things we don't want to really be honest about, or that we want to actually see, we have to stop ignoring certain things, whether that's red flags, certain patterns. And this is not just with people. This is not just with yourself. This could be with anything. This could be with your job. Are there some things you see in with your team or your manager or your boss that are red flags to you? There are patterns that you're starting to see that maybe you're overlooking, or you're not wanting to confront because you're afraid of, again, being rejected or abandoned, or you don't want to start a conflict, or you don't want to argue with anybody. You're afraid of what the reaction is going to be from somebody. So you just kind of tiptoe around stuff and walk on eggshells because you don't want to have a problem. Which, if you're able to be in anyone who's healthy with communication, that should not raise some red flag that if I bring up an issue that I'm seeing with you or a negative pattern that I'm seeing with you, I shouldn't immediately fear that you're going to be blow up on me or that you're about to leave my life, because that would tell you a lot about that person anyway, and it would cause you to reevaluate or reassess, why is that person in my life, or why do I feel this way, before I even approach them about whatever the issue is that I see. This might go, it ties into excusing behavior. Are you excusing anybody's behavior? Oh, that's just how they are. They don't mean nothing by it. It's okay. I'm gonna. It's no problem. I know they probably were just joking. You're having a blind eye to something again for all the things that I just mentioned that could possibly be because you're just not wanting to disturb the peace. You don't want anybody upset with you. You want to keep people happy with you. You might even be a people pleaser. So it's like I'll excuse that because I want everybody to like me. I want everybody to stay put in my life. And it's like, but you're around people who are not. You're not even being authentic with yourself if you're having to, again, kind of go back to talking about minimizing, shrinking in a moment. So it's like, I'll just overlook. It's okay. No problem. No big deal. But it is a problem. And you're turning a blind eye to it yourself, the blind side of yourself, your awareness, you're shutting that off, or your discernment. You know good and well that relationship that you probably were in, that you knew probably from the beginning that that person was not good for you, but you kept trying to make it work. You turned a blind eye yourself towards it. I love to hear people say stuff like couples or marriage couples. I remember when I first started working with marriage couples as a therapist in North Carolina. I'll never forget this client saying, "Well, it's been 10 years and I don't know what happened. He just changed." And like her husband no longer wanted to be with her. And he was just like, she was like, "I don't understand. We were going so well. Everything was so good. And all of a sudden he changed." I'm like, "No, he didn't. He was exactly who he was." You cannot hold a mask. Somebody can portray something only for so long until you see the true nature of who that person is. I don't care what dynamic it is. Everybody's not going to, you cannot be consistently who you are, or I'll say this, you cannot portray to be something consistently that's not in alignment with who you truly are for so long until the real you will show up. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Will the real whoever you are stand up? But the person, I think she overlooked all these things and she excused behavior. She saw the red flags, she saw the patterns. It's just she saw him how she wanted to see him. She placed her own expectations of what she believed him to be on him. And he was actually showing exactly who he was. She just continued to coast along and continued to blind herself, her own awareness, just so she could have a marriage. And because she tolerated, he stayed. No problem, right? So, what's the cost of avoiding all of that? Could be heartache, pain, loneliness, fear of allowing anybody else into your life. All kinds of things can happen at the cost of you avoiding what you truly see. Staying at a job too long, staying where you live too long, staying in that organization too long, whatever that is, it could be in so many different ways. What are you avoiding right now in your life that could be very costly? And you see it. It's not like you literally blind, but maybe figuratively you are. The anchor line with this is what I ignore, I accept. What I ignore, I accept. So it's like you're giving a permission slip to say, this is okay with me. How you treat me, how you your behaviors and things of that nature, it's okay with me. You can keep doing it. It's all right. I mean, I'm co-signing to it. My asking this is, what am I pretending not to see? What are you pretending not to see in your career? What are you pretending to see, not to see within yourself? What are you not pretending to see in your relationship? If you're dating, if you're married, with your family, what are you pretending not to see in your church organization? What are you pretending not to see in your own business and among your staff? What are you pretending not to see? What are you overlooking? Just to get that in your mind. Sometimes we don't think about what we're pretending to do because we become so regimented in it. So those are all the four eyes. Like I said, we have the black eye, which is boldness, because when you bold something, You bold something, it stands out. It becomes something that's announced, something you cannot ignore. It stands out, which is something that you are created to do, is to stand out. You're not created to shrink. Then you have the private eye. This is about protecting yourself at all costs, making sure that you are not allowing people into your spaces or your information or your business without proper vetting, proper vetting, or being able to learn how to trust somebody over a level of consistency. The naked eye, this is vulnerability. Who can you trust to allow into those places and spaces with you that are very intricate, very sensitive, without thinking that they're about to deceive you or betray you or to use it against you or to shame you in any way, mock you, minimize you. Also, the blind eye, we just talked about the awareness. What am I pretending I'm not seeing? What areas in my life that I realize I need to be a little bit more attentive and stop acting like I don't see what I see, stop acting like I don't hear what I hear, stop ignoring what I feel about whatever this is. So, y'all, you need all four though. Need all four. Pay attention to all four. Bold. When we talk about all the four of them, but being bold, be bold enough not to shrink, private enough to protect, vulnerable enough to connect, and aware enough to walk away. Be bold enough not to shrink, private enough to protect, vulnerable enough to connect, and also aware enough to walk away. Okay? So my last thing I want to leave with you is, which eye is leading you right now? Which one is you like, okay, yeah, I'm right here. I'm dealing with the black eye. I'm dealing with the private eye. I'm dealing with the naked eye. I'm dealing with the blind eye. What are you dealing with right now? Are you struggling with boldness, protection, vulnerability, or your awareness? So those are the eyes that I got, for y'all tonight. Hope that y'all got something out of this. Hope that this is also going to be something that's productive for you as you're starting to think about those certain areas and thinking, where do I need to fine tune some things? Not with judgment, but with awareness. Not with judgment, because sometimes we can hear things like that. And it's like, you know what? I'll be letting people just know all my business. I'll be letting anybody into my life. I'll be trusting everybody. I trust too much. I don't trust enough. I'm scared to speak up about stuff, but okay, I want to do certain things in my life. I want to do leaps of faith, but I'm afraid to do whatever. All you got to do, just sit with some of these things, do some reflection, do some reassessment, do some reevaluating, but then do some reactivation. Do some reactivation to get you in a place of where you're back in alignment with being bold, protecting yourself, being safe with vulnerability, only with safe people and in safe spaces, and also having a greater awareness. And the fact that I say with the awareness, with the blind eye, it's not that you're really blind. Sometimes you see the stuff, you just choose to be blind. It's a choice. So I love y'all. It has been an amazing time, as it always is. I know, don't cry. I know you're going to leave. Don't cry for me, Argentina. I'll see you guys next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. And lovely international family, love y'all dearly on all these different continents and these countries and stuff. Y'all know what it is. Whenever you're going to watch this, I'm glad that you will hear it, and also you will see it, whether you're watching live now or you will watch it later. So you've always been great. You're just getting better, and you're finally embracing it because I told you to. No, I'm just joking. You all have always been great. You're just getting better. And you're finally embracing it. We're going to embrace these eyes about ourselves. We're going to embrace the being bold. We're going to embrace protecting ourselves, embrace being vulnerable in safe spaces with safe people, and embrace being more aware of our lives and our surroundings and who we allow in them. So I love y'all. I will see y'all next week. Continue to share, continue to like, continue to subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks for watching The Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.